This is That One Audition with Alyshia Ochse.
Okay, so starting my research with you, LaMonica, look, I've interviewed a bunch of athletes turned actors, but never SlamBall. I need to know what exactly is SlamBall? And then I think the audience needs to know, I don't know if you've talked about this much, your transition from SlamBall into the One Tree Hill audition. Like, how does that come to be? How does somebody who's playing SlamBall all of a sudden get asked to audition for a television show?
Okay, so I moved out here after football, and football was cut prematurely for me, not from injuries, just I wasn't good enough to make it to the NFL. Like, that's just a hard reality. But I envisioned myself playing football, and then after that, going into acting. Just that.
So it was the plan that you were like, okay, I'll do acting after
Acting's it's always been there. I wasn't fortunate enough to go to the schools or the prep places and all these prestigious academies, but I knew I wanted to do it. I grew up loving TV. Like, it influenced me heavily. I was a latchkey kid, San Francisco. So like, I spent a lot of alone time watching all my shows.
Yes.
So it had an impact for me growing up. Get to LA, I'm in class, and while I'm in class, this SlamBall audition comes up, and they were doing open calls. And I'm thinking it's a TV show about basketball or some kind of new sport. I'm like, yeah, me and my buddy that were in acting class, let's go check this out. Went to the convention center in LA, and there's a room with 300 dudes in it, all with their sneakers and just ready to go. And the more they spoke on stage, you realize it's not a show, it's a new sport that they're creating. And it's 4-on-4 basketball with trampolines. It's contact basketball, so there's a football element. And there's plexiglass like hockey. So you're 10, 15, 20 feet in the air, just knocking dudes out of the way, trying to dunk the ball. It's physical. And in my head, I still haven't really given up on that. I still had that bug to play sports. So I'm like, you know what? I'm young enough. I'll put acting on hold for a while, and I'm going to do this SlamBall thing. And we went around the world. It was fun. I got that brotherhood that had been missing from the locker room from football. We're in Europe, South America, China. We're doing all this stuff. And maybe 5 years in, it got some success. It got some fame. We're on CBS, TNN, TNT, ESPN to some extent. And One Tree Hill was going to do a 3-episode arc of SlamBall, where Joe Manganiello was in it, James Lafferty. They're the SlamBall team, and they wanted to audition a lead player from the other team to be the adversary, to come in and just wreak havoc, wreak shop. And they were going to start auditioning actors and teach them how to play SlamBall. I'm like, no, guys, this is why I came here. Let me read for this. This is the passion. SlamBall was the side passion, but let me do this. So
did you have an agent manager, or did you just find out, did they make an announcement through like the SlamBall arena?
I was good with Mike Tolan from Tolan Robbins. He was one of the producers. Pat Croce, who used to own the 76ers. Mason Gordon created it. Like, I'm friends with all these guys from SlamBall. I was one of the faces of the league. The last year I played, I led the league in scoring and then hit. So I was like a perennial all-star. And I was like, hey guys, like, all bull crap aside, let me see what I can do here. And they let me read, and I got it. And now I'm working, I'm on set, and I'm like, just the energy I felt on set, it felt like home. It was like, this is what I moved out here to do. And that was the last time I put on a SlamBall uniform. That we were in Wilmington, North Carolina. Yeah. And I came back, and I'm like, I got in acting classes and just figured things out from there. But that was I love
roundabout way. I love that they come for acting, you get pulled out for 5 years, and then that's the thing that brings you back in. Do you get an agent and manager thereafter, after One Tree Hill? Or how do you start then? Because it's One Tree Hill. When did that happen?
2008.
Yes. Because then you have a couple of years of one-offs, and then, LaMonica, you hit 2011 and like game over as far as what appears to me like the struggle.
Yeah.
Right?
I found when I got in class in 2008, late 2008, I was doing scene work in class with an actress, Alyshia. The acting coach, J.R. Kasha. I worked with a bunch of different acting coaches, like all over the city. And yeah, I'm doing this scene from class. It was a scene from Closer. And her manager was in there. She was on a soap at the time. So he was just in there seeing how she was doing, checking up on her. And he was like, asked my acting coach, who's that guy that, she's on stage with? Oh, yeah, he's green. He's got great energy, great attitude, really good instincts, but he's very new. So I came in, I met with him, and he's, hey, we're going to shoot you out there to see if something sticks, to see if we got something. So they started sending me out on auditions, and a couple things stuck here and there, but I wasn't trained. I didn't have I was grossly at a disadvantage, and I realized that the higher up the ladder I got. In the beginning, you're saying a line or two in a show, where's the fire? And that's your line for
Right. I feel like it's a job, right? Here's the job, say this line, get out. They're not spending any time with you. But when you are starting to get to the responsible jobs, like for the listeners, when I reference 2011, you do a couple of episodes of NCIS, a handful of episodes of Political Animals. You end up doing Transformers. You end up with Sons of Anarchy. It's like there's a blossoming that happens. And that's where I was like, what happened 2010, 2011, where everything started to crystallize? So you start working with this acting coach. They start kind of sending you out. And the one-offs, great. Those are the jobs. 2010, 11, that's when the career starts.
Yeah, and I started realizing how much more training I needed. So the acting coach at the time took me to a certain level. And I worked with other acting coaches like Arthur Mendoza, Sarah Mornell. She helped me get my first show, first pilot, I was in testing hell for 4 or 5 years, testing every 3 or 4, and it just wasn't happening. And I finally got with a coach. There was a class on Wednesday nights, Carrie Keene.
Okay.
Not a big class. She was a really good, working actress back in the day. She was in her 60s, 70s. She was opposite John Lithgow in a film. She was opposite, she's done a lot of work. And the community that she created in this class, it resonated with me, and it's like I found a home. And she's the one that took me from one level. She gave me the passion for the craft. Because before I was getting over on just showing up and charisma, you got charm, you got a look.
You got a stature, you got a certain look. You were getting those jobs, like you said, the fireman jobs. So we got this over here. You were, it was the typecast where they could see such a visual medium. What did she tangibly do that helped you reinvigorate the process? Even if you want to walk me through an audition, specifically using anything, but what was that?
I can tell you, she helped me unpack things in my own life, in reality, that I didn't know was there. And it comes from, my parents grew up in Jackson, Mississippi, 60s, 50s, civil rights, harsh time back in Jackson. My dad went off to Vietnam. He came back a war hero. And he said his first time being away from Jackson, Mississippi was when he was stationed in San Francisco before they went over to Vietnam. He says, if I make it out of this alive, I'm going to come back, get my mom. They were together in high school, and I'm moving my family to San Francisco. My dad was one of only a handful of men in his platoon that survived.
Damn.
Came back, got my mom. We moved to San Francisco. We're living in San Francisco, and it's just this Benetton of just every ethnicity, every race, it was starkly different from what they grew up with. But they kept what Jackson, Mississippi did to them, how they raised us. So we were taught, stay out of trouble, keep your head down, don't bring attention to yourself, make yourself small, pretty much. Don't make yourself seen or known for survival instincts, for keeping us out of trouble. And I carried that with me, not really knowing that was with me. I thought but when you're doing this kind of work, you need all those things. And that wasn't showing up in my work. So I would come in a room for an audition. You walk in the door, they see this big guy, this presence, and I was hiding in the work. And Carrie helped me realize that. She brought it out in me, and we worked on that. And just that learning that about myself, working around that, working through it, and seeing how my work shifted from that, and having breakthroughs in class was like, oh, wow, this is what acting is. Like, I hadn't experienced this before.
Yeah. So basically learning how to be seen,
Yeah.
really truly seen, almost inviting us in. Is that kind of what she was tangibly?
Yes, your eyes, like your eyes, the camera and your eyes are everything. And I would hide my eyes a lot, and I wasn't aware of that. So I'd get these certain roles. And I remember, like, when I started reading for series regulars, one of the casting directors told my rep, it was like, it'd be great if if that was a guest star, we might have booked him. But this is a series regular, and he just needs to bring it more. And athletic background, constructive criticism, I feed off of it. I'm a sponge. You're not going to tell me anything that's going to discourage me. My attitude is, if I got 3 flat tires and the fourth one's working, all right, we're working with something. Tell me what I need to work on, and we'll work on that. And slowly just built a career up, like learning how to fly the plane while it was in the air. That's been my whole existence in this business, and falling on your face and not being afraid of failure in front of large groups of people. I'm okay with that. And that's one of my best attributes.
It's a beautiful thing. I think it's interesting. A lot of actors, I think we show up to Los Angeles, we show up to New York or whatever big city, especially at the time when you and I started. And it was like, oh, okay, we're just going to start working. There wasn't that attitude of climbing the ladder until you
Yeah.
realize the work ethic of it, of like the responsibility of, okay, here's the co-star. Okay, here's the guest star. You're at guest star level. Okay,
Yeah.
you want to go to the next level of responsibility. You need to bring more to it. And I
Yeah.
love an athlete's mentality is finding the right coach, right? Oh, I'm
Yeah.
really good here. Now, where's the coach to take me to the next level? What's the next tactics, tools that I need to put in place? I love
100%.
I love when you get to the wall, right? My beautiful acting coach would always be like, "Oh, baby, you're at the wall. You're at the wall." And it doesn't feel good. But when we get
Yeah.
to the other side, it's gonna be so great. And that's where we see so much, I think, growth, and we can see that. Okay, I need to ask specific audition stories. I first want to ask you, because I don't want to like poke in and mislead, but that one audition, what is that one audition for you?
There's an audition I had that was the worst audition in the history of audition for
Okay.
me. It was right when I started figuring things out a little bit, and I'm thinking, like, look at me, check me out. Like, I'm doing it. I'm out here. I'm playing the game. I'm in the mix. Blacklist, the show. It was a pilot. I went in there, and in this room, and this is the first time, like, my career, I was recurring on Sons. I think I'm doing something. I go in that room and I see Blair Underwood, see Harold Perrineau. I'm like, wow, like, how am I in here with these dudes? I'm doing it. I had my sides in my hand, and I'm just like, I'm so prepared. And side note, me coming in this late in the game, mid-30s, like early 30s, first getting into class, I'm so far behind everyone I'm going up against, whether it's relationships, whether it's they went to Yale and Juilliard and they're classically trained from teenagers on. I'm just at a disadvantage. In my head, I got to outwork everyone and work ethic wise, and I have to be over prepared. Like, I got to do something different. So I get in there and I'm seeing all these dudes that I grew up watching on TV. And they were like, the kid in me, a lot of what I do now is based on the inner, like the 15-year-old LaMonica, how I take jobs, my excitement while I'm on the set. What would, if I get offered a job, I'm like, what would little LaMonica, would he want to watch this? Would he like, yeah, he would love this. We're doing this one. And I'm in there, little LaMonica is like pinching himself right now. So I leave my sides in the room and I go inside the room, and the excitement that I just came from of seeing everyone in there like that, everything I prepared, producers are in there. It's a whole full house, like 5 or 6 of them. Cameras rolling, casting's reading with me, and I just black out. And I'm like, ah. And we start back over. Let's, oh yeah, take your time, take your time. All right. So, we're about to go again. And I got nothing. Like, it's just deer in the headlights. And they said something like, do you want us to print you some sides? No, I got it. Let's give it another shot. Nothing. Blacked out. It ended up being me next to casting, reading off and doing this and blah, 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 blah. All right. Hey, thanks for seeing me. And I was out. I've never ran that fast in my life. I've got in my car and like, what the hell was that? My agent hits me up after, how'd it go?
Yeah, what'd you say?
Yeah. Yeah, we don't need to call and check up on that one. That's not gonna, but from that point on, I always have my sides with me.
Yes.
No matter,
Yes.
no matter
Yes.
how prepared, I don't care. And it's just like a crutch. Like, even if it's just there where I can just glance at, or if they give me a redirect, so I'm not just sitting there looking at them trying to see what the redirect is going to be or how I feel where it's going to go. I have something to look at. Give me a minute. Even if I'm not paying attention to it, it's just give me a minute where I can process and slow things down for myself in that room. Like, it's an anchor.
Yes, absolutely. And I think it's interesting how we come in with an idea, right? And we're going
Yeah.
to execute it versus the pages sometimes just help us have like a work session. You know, some of the best auditions I've seen online, they have their pages right there in their lap. They're looking down a lot of the time. It's really
Yeah.
wild to see when you're just, it doesn't matter if you're reading off of a paper, if you make a mistake, but those waiting rooms, I miss the waiting room for a lot
Yeah. The waiting rooms yeah.
to
And it
give
was
us,
a really
yeah.
great actor. Like, every show that I've been on, I've been working with some incredible talent, some incredible people, like legends in the game. And I remember Kieran Hines told me on Political Animals, he said, always have your sides with you, because when this tape circulates around through the networks and the studios it's not in the hands of the creatives, it's in the hands of the business people. This
Mhm.
reminds them that this is just a work session. This page, like, they can see that and they know, like, this isn't just, this is what it's going to be on the day and this is what I'm bringing. We're just working. This is an audition. So you
Yeah.
need to see that. And I'm like, should have remembered that.
Let me ask you this. Now that we're in the game, the world of self-taping, taking it back to possibly like Lioness, because 1883 that you went in for Papsadera for that. That's your first Taylor Sheridan show. Was that on tape or was that in the room?
That was a self-tape, but I'd been in with Paps countless times over the years. And that's another thing I learned in the business. Don't try to go in there and get the role. Go in there and make them feel something, which was a road for me to figure that out through the audition process. Make them feel something, but went over the office as well.
Yeah.
Like just opportunities they give you if they like you, and if you're going in and you keep showing up, they're going to keep giving you at bats. Yeah, don't try to give them what they want, which I did, which I think they want early in my career. It was real technical, and it just wasn't working for me the higher up I got. But you went over the room, and
So I know I'm going to get back to the winning over the room. I want to get a little deeper with that. But with 1883, when you're doing your self tapes, going back to holding the pages, do you hold the pages in your self tapes? Like for
I
1883,
do.
you did.
I do. And the first read I had, it was two scenes, not real like long scenes, but it was two scenes, and one of them had some humor in it. And I leaned into the humor. That was a choice. Sent the tape in. A week later, it was around my birthday. Me and my wife are headed to Mastro's to celebrate the birthday. I'm driving. I get a call from my manager saying, "Hey, Taylor Sheridan wants to call you right now." Oh, okay. And he wants to talk to you about the role. So if pen and pad, some notes. I'm on the 405. I pull over. My wife drives. I get a pen out the glove. I'm writing, like, I'm talking to Taylor for maybe 45 minutes. He wants me to send in another tape. And this is what he wants to see. Okay. Okay. And then we talked about that for maybe 5 minutes. Then we talked about everything else. Football, working out. We both have a lot in common. And then I was like, oh my God, that was amazing. So went back home. I hired a dialect coach for the audition. I called my acting coach up. We went over it a few times, and I sent that tape in. It was like late May, and I didn't hear anything for 2.5 months.
Damn.
But
Okay. Do you remember a couple of the notes from Taylor? Because I'm curious what his notes, because he used to be an acting coach, used to be an actor, then
Yeah.
acting, then turned insane writer, obviously a
Yeah.
prolific writer. So he gives some of the best notes, and a lot of Taylor's actors have sat in this seats, and I'm really always interested by the notes that he gives. What were some of the notes that he gave you for the retape?
The one note that stuck with me was more bring in more of the time period of the
Okay.
1800s. And how I processed that, like leaning into the humor of the scene, there wasn't a lot. And he also sent me three scripts. He sent me the first three scripts to go over. So that was game changer. Now I'm seeing the tone of the show, the
Mhm.
harshness of there's nothing to lean into humor about. It's not.
Yes.
So that, and the first scene we ended up shooting when we started shooting was the scene from the audition, and it was the humor scene. It was a scene where me and Sam, we were in the Pinkerton agency office with the immigrants, and he was saying, "Don't do this," and that's poison ivy. These are rattlesnakes. Don't do whatever. And it was a back and forth with me and Sam. What's a toilette? And I'm like, it's French for shitter. Well, how do you know French? I don't know. Like that whole back and forth.
Yes.
And Taylor watched us rehearse that for the first time. He never said anything to us again for the whole, you guys are good, and just left us alone for the rest of 1883. And
Wow.
me and Sam connected right away. We hit it off. But it was that scene, the audition, like it just, yeah, it was the best experience I've ever had working.
And it really solidifies a lot when I think you get to that level of being trusted with material like that. So then let's go back to winning over the room. Pap Sadara is a great casting director. He does a lot of Sheridan stuff. He does a lot of great shows. So I want to go back because you were touching base on like winning over the room and being consistent. So, are you able to give some tangible things? Go back to that maybe first couple of times that you met Pap Sadara and how you were developing that relationship.
I think early off in my career, it was more technical. It was more business minded approach to auditions. Like, all right, is this network? Is it cable? Is it who's the writer? Who's the producer? What has she done before? What is he? Okay, this is going to be the tone. What number is this guy on the call sheet? Get the one. They're going to put the two up against the one. They're going to, three has to go with the one and the two. And by the time you get down to six, what do they want from this character? What do I need to show them? Like all that stuff that's out of my control. I control none of that stuff. And I would have auditions when I reached a better level, and they would say, it was a great audition. He's so good. He's like this and that. But they weren't feeling anything. Now, having a good audition and making someone feel something they can be two separate, completely separate things. And you could walk out of there and think you nailed it, which you probably did, how you prepared it, but
Yeah.
you didn't make them feel something. And I was really a stickler for the dialogue, a stickler for the words. I'm gonna, and it wasn't so much about the words. And that was another thing I learned in Carrie's class, and not just with Carrie, but with other actors in the class. If I could do this all over again, I would be a reader in a big casting office so I can see how people come in. I could see what the freedoms they have to go off page, to go off book, and or just to add their own piece of their personality here and pick out. It was so much of the words for me in the beginning. There was an actor in class, this guy, really good actor, Chris Redman. In the class that we had, the structure was you come in, you prepare your auditions. That was the first part of class. Aside from toning and breathing exercises, that was her big thing with all of us. And then after that, we would go into scene study stuff. So I'm reading for Chris, and I'm reading, and this dude he's getting the gist of what the page was, of what the scene was, but he was injecting so much of himself into that and so much life into it and so much. And I'm like, I'm losing myself watching him when I should be reading, but it was interesting. And I'm like, wow, he gave me the freedom. So forget the pages. Like you got to have the pages, but forget the pages.
So
And that's
when
when yeah.
that's when you okay, so when you go in now for Pap Sadara early on, are you starting to implement that? So you're
Yeah.
building this kind of foundational work. Okay, So then let's talk, give me an audition. And I'm curious, other than reading the script, right? We read the script, we have to know what it's
Yeah.
about. What are some things now that you do to inhabit this so that we can feel something as the audience? We can feel like in Lioness, your work in Lioness is incredible. And look, that role, it's Tucker. Is that no? What's his
Yeah.
name? Tucker,
Yep.
right?
Doctor. Yep.
He's just a presence. He doesn't sometimes say a lot. And that's sometimes the hardest roles to do. So
Yeah.
I'm really curious, even if did Linus, did you audition or since you're
No, I did. Taylor, they hit me up. I was actually in Vegas promoting, we were at a UFC fight promoting Terminal List with Chris Pratt
Yep.
and Jack Carr and all those guys. And I get the call while I've had a few drinks already. And it was like, yeah, he's doing the show. And I was like, Taylor's doing it, I'll do it. You don't have to tell me the breakdown or who's all involved. And then once you sober up and you're like, wait, Zoe, Nicole, what? Yeah, I'm doing this. Okay. It's Taylor for one.
Yes.
And then you find out like Michael Kelly. We didn't know Morgan Freeman was going to be on it until we were finished shooting most of season 1 and we get out to Spain. And in Spain and Morocco was like early episodes and middle, like we shoot all out of sequence with Taylor. You shoot episode 5 and you go back to 2 and you shoot 4. We see Morgan Freeman in the hotel in Spain. I wonder what he's here shooting. Damn, it's Morgan. I'm going to catch him one day. I want to pick his brain. I want to talk to him. And he's, yeah, I'm here shooting Lioness. What? Like, yeah, wow. Okay. Yeah. So
Did you get to pick his brain? Because somebody also started later in his career.
We talked about all that.
What'd you get? What did you extract? Give us one nugget.
You grow into your man. You grow into who you're going to be. Like a lot of actors, from what I took from the conversation with him, I got buddies that worked a lot in their early 20s. And they were the younger guy, the high school, college. And then they had this period where it went dark for a while. And I think Patrick Dempsey talked about this too. When he was younger, he had Loverboy, he had Can't Buy Me Love. And they looked at him, casting producers looked at the young version of him, and he was competing against himself at that version of his life. And now you see him on, what is it, Grey's Anatomy. He's Mick, whatever, Steamy or Dreamy or one of the, but he's a man now. So you graduate to your grown man, and that's the whole next part of your career. And how Morgan was telling me, it was, you're in your grown man right now. So you have an advantage where you're not so much competing against the younger version of yourself, and they don't have any idea of who you were. There's nothing for them to paint you as, oh, but that was such and such from this kid show or whatever. Like, you're coming in brand new. So you have a clean slate. Like, no slate is great, especially older in life, and you have a chance to not recreate yourself, but just be. So that was
reassure that even the conversation where the part of the conversation earlier where we were talking about, I came late. No, you came right on time.
Yeah.
Right on time. Because look at these roles. Okay, I'm going to make you get specific now about what you told me earlier about, yes, hold your sides, but also fuck the lines and also bring yourself, make somebody feel something. And I'm going to ask it specifically. This might be a hard one, so you can always redirect me to a different audition if this works. But the monitor role, since it was like it's the DC Marvel world, right? So did they give you real sides?
Yeah.
And walk me through how here's the lines. Like, how are you going to get Rappaport to feel something? So then that character goes on to what, 5, 6 shows?
Yeah, I ended up playing the monitor and the anti-monitor, and it was a series regular for all the shows. And you just bounce. It was a weird contract how they had to do it. But it was, first of all, Crisis on Infinite Earths is one of my favorite comic books growing up. Okay. Little LaMonica is screaming, just getting a chance to go audition for this. I'd show up there. Lou Ferrigno is walking out of the office. And I come in, I'm meeting with Mark Guggenheim, and I'm meeting with the team, and I'm like, that was the Hulk. The Hulk. Yeah. And they're like, I'm supposed to not see that, or I'm supposed to everything, play it cool or whatever. That's not me. Like, this is all amazing to me still. That was the Hulk. I just shook the Hulk's hand, and that was a big moment for me. All right, now to dip back in for this.
I love that also like that there's growth already from like the Blair Underwood sitting in the waiting room, going in and blocking out versus coming in and being like, holy shit, the Hulk.
Yeah,
Like, giving yourself the
freaking out.
moment.
Like you could still
Yes.
have your moments where I pinch myself. Love
Yeah.
that dude. But now it's time to, and trial and error, falling on my face so much. Now I know how to, all right, get back to breath, focus on what I need to do, sides in hand.
Yes.
And the thing with the monitor and what I learned about myself, and it's a strength for me, is my stillness. My stillness, there's power in stillness, doing less. Less is more, and you had to learn that the hard way, especially with these like Tucker. You don't have a lot of dialogue, but you have a presence. You have this physicality. When you're on screen, they're going to look at you, and it's going to be something that you're not doing. I leaned into that during 1883. I remember me, Tim McGraw, and Billy Bob Thornton all sitting around shooting the crap. And Billy Bob was like, when you think you're not doing enough, you're still probably doing too much. Just in like, and I'm like, I'm a sponge. Like in general, that's a great note. And going in there trying to lean into stuff and you're giving away your power. If it's a scene where, you're sitting right here, you're sitting over your power. The more you do this and you lean in, you're giving it all away, like little just stuff you learn over time.
Yes.
And you see it on screen and you watch TV different now and you watch films different, how actors are sitting over their power, how they're taking their time, their stillness. They're not saying a word, but the audience is pulling in right here and they're just sitting back in their chair, not even moving an inch. And that's extremely powerful.
It is. It is.
The TV and film landscape, it's constantly changing, but traditional actor training has largely remained the same.
It's focused on a theater model whose main goal is to help you stretch the expression of your instrument. That's why you can have years of training,
From scene study classes to audition classes.
to even an MFA, and still not be able to book a 2-line co-star.
That's why we created The Bridge for Actors.
A collection of tech, craft, and business online courses to teach you the skills that you need to go from a student of acting
To a working actor.
Okay, so for the monitor, for this role, one, did they give you dummy sides or did they actually give you the sides that would be useful for you to know what?
They gave me sides where I thought it was Brainiac talking to Superman. Like he has this Brainiac way of talking as well, this stoicism and this calm presence where he's just this otherworldly being. I thought it was Brainiac. I didn't know it was the monitor. So in my head, I knew Brainiac as well, and I dug into my Brainiac cartoons. Like I'm a sci-fi nerd, animation nerd. This is the world that I grew up in. So I just went deep dives on Brainiac, and the audition was more Brainiac for me than anything else.
And as far as that stillness and stuff, are you almost scoring your script to pull back consciously in the audition room to have them lean forward as audience members? Or what are you tangibly doing with your script other than reading it to break it down to how you're going to bring Brainiac forward, essentially?
Yeah, it was more of I got in trouble a lot early in my career playing the idea of stuff and like settings. I'm gonna do this here, and when I get to this part of the audition, I'm gonna have this done, and it was more so have a moment. Like if I'm living on the fuse this whole way through 4 or 5 pages, and by the 6th page, I guess it's still not planning when I'm gonna do something, but it was written well. So if it's written well, you don't have to, there's less planning, but it's set up for you to have this moment to where you can lean in and kind of, this is what's gonna happen, Kal-El. And boom, you just run it off. It was there for me on the page. But earlier in my career, I would have done stuff leading up to that wouldn't have made it impactful at the very end.
Yes, that's what I think sometimes we like the script analysis part, right? I think actors, we can get really heady knowing how something needs to go, or this is what they're looking for, or this is what the script calls for. But yes, you do have to do some of that extracting, figuring out what's happening in the scene, where does the turn happen, what's happening here. And then There's something about learning how to let go. And sometimes it is really hard. I'm putting you in a tough seat to articulate what is the place where you learn how to let go after doing the script analysis. Do you have something, like you said, you're just like, oh my God, the Hulk, oh my God, he was just here. To then, what is your technique to get into that zone? Is it just knowing it so well and then being like, fuck it, I'm here with my pages. This is what I'm going to do.
Yeah, the technique I had when I was younger actor, it failed me. So I don't have a technique now. I trust the words, I trust the work, I trust the preparation that I put in. And that preparation is, you got to learn your lines, but you got to know the lines enough to not know them. And this is all new. We're all experiencing this for the first time. All of us in this room. You guys know the words, you wrote them. I know the words, I studied them. But we're all having a first encounter right now. And I tried my best to make that first encounter real. And if it's real to me, and if I'm feeling something, chances are they are too on the other side of it.
That's beautiful. Okay, so then for Tucker, for Lioness, because you're such a stoic man of little words, right? So the script isn't giving it, but at the same time, the writing is so spectacular.
Yeah.
What are you doing to be able to just sit in those scenes? You've got heavy hitters all around you. Everybody that works on that show is beautiful. You guys are so talented.
Thank you.
But that takes a lot of the preparing or planning or doing whatever. But I sometimes, like you said, fifth, sixth, seventh on the call sheet, sometimes that work is a little bit harder to not do too much, to do what Billy said. So what is your approach to Tucker? What was your approach before day one? Because we talk about this a lot on the show too. We get to audition, and then if people buy the audition, they buy us, what performance they're buying. And I hate to say performance, but they know what you're getting. On day one, you know what to deliver, right?
Yeah.
Versus when you get the offer, and then day one is the audition, right? This is what I'm doing. So what was preparation for Tucker, and what is your episodic preparation for him, since you guys do jump all over the place?
This was a unique situation since me and Taylor had just coming off working together. So he knows what I bring. He knows what I do and what my strengths are. And he does a great job, more so than anyone else I've ever worked with, writing for certain people. And Taylor's crafty. Like, we could all be on the gym working out, just shooting the crap. We can be out having drinks somewhere, and you tell a story like, yeah, man, when I was 23, I was in Jamaica and this and that, and it was wilding out and whatever. You got to be careful because Taylor's always listening. And that story will come up in episode 7, and you're like, whoa, wait. So everyone's guarded when they're around Taylor because he picks, this is you. He'll write certain things, certain character traits, certain personality things, certain little. So I trust him completely with where Tucker's going. And we all know online that, like, I equate it to, it's an all-star team. Yes. And you got the Jordans, you got the Kobe's, and you got the LeBron, you got all these all-stars, and there's only one ball to go around. And when that ball's getting passed around, when it comes to you, shoot your shot. You better make it.
Or drop
it. You better be ready for it, because we get the scripts as we go. We get some ahead of time as you go. Taylor's still writing them. He hasn't decided where it's going to go. He's doing his process. And then you get the script like, ooh, I got a great episode. Like, now you dial in. So you know you're going to have your moments here and there, but most of the time it's in service to your other actors, and everyone is on the same page of that. And even like with Lioness, it's the same experiences with 1883. Tim McGraw and Sam Elliott it's Tim McGraw's show. You're the Dutton. You're the reason why we're all here. You're the Dutton from 1800. And Tim, the selfishness, the humility is, you're Sam Elliott. We're all sitting around at lunch. You're the one on this. And Sam's like, no, you're the one. This is and they're sitting there. You're the one. No, you're the one. And then they end up having a shared card together. But the egoless environment that Taylor has created, everyone is in service of each other, and we're just there to help out each other. And that's what Lioness is. So if I'm here and it's a few scenes where I'm just here and you need my eyes and my energy and my presence, and I'm listening, and you need a look, that's what it is for right now. I trust Taylor, like down the road, I'm going to have that moment where I'm hauling people on my back. I got the guns out. It's a heroic moment. Something's going to happen. And it does.
And it does. Do you guys shoot multiple cameras on that? How are you
We
guys?
have at times 6 or 7 cameras going at
That's
once.
what I was wondering. It almost feels like I'm watching theater. Like you
It's
don't.
cinematic.
Yeah,
It's helicopters, drones. We got like cranes, it's steadies. We got all the stuff, so everybody's in it. And that's what was so unique about 1883. The hardest job I ever had. Everyone works 6 days a week, whether you're featured, whether you're not. He shot it like documentary style. So even if you don't have any lines for 3 days, they might catch Thomas walking down to the river, getting water in the background, talking to the immigrants. Everybody worked every day of the week except Sunday for 5 or 6 months. And that just wears you. And 95% of it was outdoors, 115-degree weather in Fort Worth or -10 in Montana, all outside. But that's how he shoots. And it's
exhilarating and then it can be exhausting. So how do you keep your LaMonica 15-year-old self excited when you're at month 3 and 4? What is
we're
your
out
recovery process to be able to have the energy to sustain that 5, 6 months?
every morning. I would get up, and Tim McGraw had his gym on wheels, which was better than Equinox. Like it was this massive 50-inch screen TVs on the walls. You got saunas, all kind of stuff. Me, Taylor, and Tim would be in there every morning at 5 working out and then go straight to set. So the gym for me is everything. If I lose out on a big job, I'm going to the gym. If I get a big job, I'm going to the gym. If I got a long day of work, I'm going to the gym. And it anchors me and it settles me in.
That's beautiful. I feel like everybody needs to have that meditation, that meditative process to get inside our bodies and sometimes to get outside the body.
Yeah.
You literally took one of my rapid fire questions. Okay, I want to ask because people keep writing in. They're like, "You're interviewing such amazing talent. They're always working." Has there ever been a time since One Tree Hill, since we hit that 2011 marker, where you hit a valley for a little bit, or there was a lot of space between work? What's your process during that time to go for the sustainable career? Because your work,
Yeah.
I mean, it's more since 2011, 2016, you haven't stopped. You've gone from show to show, from Designated Survivor to Last Ship. Monitor was on a million shows. Then we're in 1883, and now we're in Lioness. You're at a different
Yeah.
spot, but if you can take me back to a moment, is there ever a thread of doubt, or what do you do in the valley moments?
I didn't have doubt. I found a way to know my wins. So if getting the job isn't the end all be all, like I'd go and I get a call back, that's the win. If they want to test me, that's the win. We don't like them for this role, but we're like on terminal list. I read for another role, didn't get that. It was a series regular role. Like, all right, all good. One of the Navy SEALs on the show, Jared Shaw, one of the writers, saw the tape and was like, no, we need him as the commander. Like I get a call later, that's the win. There's growth in all the stuff that we do. We got to learn how to find it. If you base your happiness and did you book the job, you're going to drive yourself crazy. It's not just about booking the job. If you find the wins. So when I came up against these walls, I leaned into class more, trying to get better. And I'm one of those guys that's in class. Like I get done with 1883, I get back in class until I go off and do something else again. I come back, I'm back in class. Same teacher, a lot of the same actors, working actors. It's a great community. I'm the year-round class guy when I have the time.
Carrie's class?
Yeah, with Carrie Keene. So it's might be downtime for making money on a job,
Yes.
but I'm still growing and I'm still learning, and I'm still being creative. Like they talk about class, like I'm paying you guys to act. Because all I want to do is act. Like the money we get from it, I would do this for free. And my agent says, stop saying that to people.
We can leave that part out. I'm just kidding. But yeah, but I feel like that's your gym, right?
Yeah.
I think that an acting class, it's really interesting to me, actors that won't talk about using their coaches or going to class. It's where you go and you get your workout. It's, to me, having a coach is like playing tennis. I'm hitting the ball like this. Okay, I'm going to hit it back to you like this. Let's tweak your wrist ever so slightly. There's no shame in collaboration. I feel like,
Yeah, they're like, if you're used to doing this, you know what? Try this might be interesting. Oh, I
yes,
hadn't thought of that. Oh, that's something. Like,
yeah,
wow, you don't know what you don't know. So they're there to give you, show you blind spots and to just give you different perspectives. It might work, it might not, but it's like they're all choices. And
all choices
yeah,
continue to evolve because it was so fun to go and watch your work going back to Sons of Anarchy and then watching you on Lioness. We're always evolving. We're always changing, not only with the character and the time, but just watching how everybody becomes more comfortable bringing more of themselves. Just
yeah.
really, it's amazing. I have just a couple of, because you answered so many of these questions. Ready? Okay. What are you watching right now? What do you watch? Because you're on the top show. So I want to know, do you go back? Do you watch 1883? Do you watch Lioness? Or what are
I
you and your wife watching when you're not working?
We're watching Landman right now, and Landman's so damn good. And every episode I'll call up my buddies that are on it, and it's funny. Taylor recycles a lot of his people,
Yes.
and we joke about it like we all went to the same high school, just different years, different, you know. But it's all,
The
'cause he'll
Sheridan High School, that Sheridan High School.
yeah, he'll have like functions at his ranch, or I'm riding in this competition in April. I did it last November, where these cutting competitions and it's all the people from all the shows, and we all feel like we know each other. We've all worked with the same crews. We're in the ranch, we're just there, and you get to hang out there. So watching their work, like with Andy Garcia the other night and Billy, I'm like, man, I call up Sam, man, you're making me cry, man. You're killing it. Like, so I'm watching Landman right now. I can't wait to start watching Fallout again. That
Yes.
might be one of my favorite shows. I'm a nerd though. Like I lean into the sci-fi, the Andors, the Star Wars, the stuff that's based in reality, and like that it doesn't appeal to me as much. They're really good shows. Succession damn good show. It's amazing. And I see why they win all the awards. And it's easy to just get lost in that world, but it's not my jam.
Yep.
It's
That's something that you're going to work on, but you enjoy watching. I get it.
yeah.
I get it.
Severance. I read for Severance. I met with Ben Stiller
Yeah.
and didn't get
Cool.
that one. But the dude that got it he's winning awards out here. Like the two shows that got away in my head, both actors went on to win Emmys. So I'm okay with the direction of it.
Severance. What was the other show? Just out of
Watchmen.
Oh.
Watchmen, and Watchmen's one of the best limited series to me, like for what in history. Watchmen was amazing. And Yahya got the role and he killed it and went on to win the Emmys. Yeah, they picked the right guy.
Yours is coming. It'll be interesting to see which one it is.
Yeah.
Just see. Okay. You just told me which roles you wish you maybe should have had, but okay. What's the one thing you've done that you wish more people would see that maybe didn't get a lot of eyeballs?
There was a short film I did. It was an AFI thesis film.
The Duke?
The Duke.
Yes.
And the Duke, it meant a lot to me, like judging from the football aspect of it, the concussions, this athlete thinks he can still play, but he can't, and the harm it brings to everyone around you when you have this CTE going on and you're not really handling it and approaching it like you should. My agents told me don't do it because it's no money involved. I was working on an NBC show, Mr. Robinson at the time, so I didn't have time to do it. But I met with the young filmmaker, he's great, this guy, Max Barbaco.
Mhm.
That was his thesis film. He went on to direct, I think they wrote it as well, Palm Springs with Andy Samberg.
Yep.
There was another show, Brothers, with Josh Brolin and Peter Dinklage, that he did. Like, you knew this dude is going to take off and be that dude. And I did his thesis film. And we went on, I did it, like I would work in the daytime on Mr. Robinson, and then all-nighters, we'd go to Long Beach and film. So like I would get off work, drive to Long Beach, work all night. There were a couple times where I showed back up and just slept out front of the NBC Universal on the lot, slept out front because I didn't want to be late. It was like a 7 a.m. call time. Went in there, did that for a couple nights, and then weekends and stuff. But the Duke went to.
You won some awards for that. That was
Yeah, no, it was. We went to Tribeca. I got nominated in the Pasadena film. It was a really good experience, and I needed to do something where I'm carrying something, like
Yes.
I'm leading the way. I need to be the one on something, and at that point in my career, I'm not getting the one on bigger jobs. So I need this for my growth. I need the reps of shouldering the load of being the one handling the set, and it was just really. It was good for me at the time, and it helped me for the next job that I had.
I was just getting ready. I want, because the audience can't see this right now. So you did that in 2016, or it came out in 2016.
Yeah.
I was just pinpointing different places, timeline stuff. 2016, you taking on that responsibility and being like, no, I'm going to do this. I want to do
Yeah.
this.
The next show I got after that, which my career, it's funny how it's been happening. The things that scare me the most is the things that I grow from the most.
Yes.
But it's also when I go through them head on, it's the thing that prepares me for the next job that I'm going to get. Like after the Duke of having like all that going on and on that film, I got The Last Ship. And The Last Ship, I didn't know what block shooting was. Like I've never block shooted before. I just prepared for the first episode, and that's what we're doing. They said we're shooting episodes 1 through 3, all facing this way right now. And I was familiar with the other episodes, but I hadn't broke it down. I hadn't really dug in deep. And I remember hearing that when we went through the blocking of just no words, no rehearsal, just blocking. For Peter Weller was directing. And I'm like, I went to my trailer. I just crash course looking at everything. And it's that jargon, that military.
Yeah.
It's not normal. It's not, you gotta look up half this stuff that you're talking about. Doctor stuff the same way. But I knocked it out and I did well. And that helped me for the next job, was Designated Survivor, working opposite Kiefer and doing
it snowballed. It felt, you know how you were talking about earlier about, oh, he's at that guest star level, not quite ready, series regular ready. I feel like the Duke, you taking that responsibility, put you in that series regular land. Whether the contract actually said series regular on The Last Ship or Designated Survivor, that's what it did. I feel like that. And then every role thereafter that we're talking about, you're at the table. You're on the team. You're on the team.
I'm serious consideration for stuff. Like doors are opening that weren't opening before. I don't think I've had my breakthrough yet, but I think that me being considered is like, that's
the win.
It's a win.
Green lights. Those are the green lights.
Yeah.
And you're sitting at the tables with, right now, it's just a matter of, right time. Like Taylor writes something and it's, oh yeah, this all makes sense. It all makes sense now. When that happens, you got to come back and we'll do another more retrospectively looking at the timeline. This was a joy. Thank you. It is really helpful, I think, for other actors to see, even you saying about the Duke, that your team's, you don't have to do that right now. You know what you want and where you want to go and what you want to say with your artistry, what you want to say just with your business acumen and what you're building as a career. That's something to emulate because it's wow. And all starting from somebody who's in athletics, also wants to do television. We don't need to know the how. Like, we just need to know where we're going. And the how, to me, is what this show is. That's always so spectacular to see. Where it's and we're going to go here, and then we're going to go here, and then we're going here. I'm
going to drive the car. Like, I'm going to hit the accelerator, the steering wheel, and maybe have buddies that they're really guarding their careers, and I can't do this kind of job, and maybe if I had some more of that, I might be, I don't know, further off or something, but for me, it's letting God just pick and plan, and this is where we need you right now, and you're going to go here, and this is where I'm driving. Hey, take the wheel. I'll hit the gas, and whatever it is, I'll be 110% and ready to work.
It's been fun to watch you work this last week. It's been a lot of fun. I was already watching a lot of shows that you were on, but it was really a joy. Thank you for doing this.
Thanks for having me.
Where can everybody follow on? Are you on Instagram?
I'm on the gram. I'm on Twitter. I still call it Twitter. Facebook, LaMonica Garrett, 2 R's, 2 T's. I haven't got on TikTok yet, but everyone on Lioness is, you got to get on TikTok. So I might, we'll see.
Might venture out. We'll see next season.